Hello everybody, welcome to Raising Vibrations, and you're with Simon today. And in this video we're going to be looking at the full moon in Libra and facing our limitations. And this is for the 19th of April 2019. So when I actually record this video and also release it, the full moon would have already happened where I am at the moment. And so these are my reflections and thoughts on what I've felt into, what I've observed outwardly in the world, and hopefully that in some way, shape, or form this video can provide you with some value to your life. I love this picture so much because it really captivates this energy in a very profound way. And at least to me, there are many ways in which you can interpret and interact with this image. But for me, this image really speaks volumes around the nature of what is actually occurring energetically at the moment. When I sort of observe the person or the man that's actually caged into this iron sphere, as it were, this is the Capricorn energy at the moment, right? So we've got Saturn, we have Pluto. We've got the South Node all in Capricorn, and it's all revealing to us this kind of restriction that within our lives is, in a sense, not necessarily in this picture, but it's holding us in. There's holding this part of us inside. And at some point, this was perfect for our kind of form, for our balance, for what it meant to be human. We were comfortable in this place. It held us in safety. But with the Sun conjunct Uranus at the moment, even though the Sun is at 29 degrees Libra, Aries, Uranus being 1 degree Taurus, the Sun conjunct Uranus indicates this kind of deeper energy that sits in this person at the moment, which is this need to kind of break out of or change the form, to essentially change the mold or the shape, or like in this case over here, kind of really try to break out from what cages us in. So facing our limitations is a beautiful way, in my opinion, to really connect with this energy at the moment. And the question that you want to ask yourself is, where am I finding blocks, limitations, or frustrations in the patterns or the choices that I make that are keeping me caged in, that are keeping me from really feeling free? Okay, this kind of freedom trying to come through us. And like I said, this, just feel into that expression, feel into this mold that holds us in place, that no longer supports us anymore. It's outdated. The mold no longer works for us. It's not in accordance with where the energy is at the moment. Okay, so here's some imagery that I actually want to bring to today's full moon, and I'm sure that every single person on the internet, on some way, shape, or form, was sort of exposed to the burning of this fire that took place in this cathedral in France, the Notre Dame. And I leave my opinions and views about what this is, or how it actually, what it's about, at the door. And what I want to use this imagery about as an association to the natal chart, as into the astrology at the moment, and also what that represents within you. So my question is, how is this image suggesting what is essentially burning inside of you, that is rooted in a pre-existing structure or form that once symbolized human existence and success and purpose and achievement? What paradigms of thinking, what paradigms of thought, what construction that was your meaning is, in a sense, being burned down. Okay, it's very profound. It's a very profound thing, because in order to really get this, I'm suggesting that your observation of yourself is, and your body is, of your own church. It's of your own cathedral. Your body is your own cathedral, Saturn. And when you look at what you hold inside of yourself at a deeper level, there is a meaning, there is a set of ethics, there is a set of values, there is a way of justifying your reality and your views on things. And so this image with the astrology at the moment points to a kind of restructuring of what once symbolized a form of meaning and purpose. Okay. And again, keeping in context that image that I showed you over there with Uranus conjunct the sun. Now, of course, this didn't actually take place with this full moon, but it's a very profound kind of association. It's very symbolic representation. So the other suggestion that I wanted to put out across over here is how this symbol, and there is a lot of things going on in the world at the moment that are not public like this. Thank you, Western media, for its propaganda, for what it does, and all these things. But ultimately, what you're really looking at here is how your own trigger dynamics arose. Like, what did this bring to the surface? That's something that's very profound, I think, as a reflection for this full moon. What did it bring to the surface for you, and what is your orientation towards it? And what does that teach you about your psychological and emotional self? And if you want to go even deeper into that, how are you connected to the more, as Carl Jung would talk about it, as the archetypes, right? How would this symbol trigger some deeper archetypal expression within you? What does it bring to the surface? Pluto conjunct the sun. Sorry, Pluto conjunct, what am I saying? Pluto conjunct the south node and Saturn. This pre-existing structure. Here's another image, like I said, that I want to use to illustrate what, to me, not only gives us an opportunity to understand the depth of what we're actually dealing with here with this new moon, this full moon, but also how we can begin to see astrology as a very profound vehicle for transformational and psychological understanding. So everything you see has its roots in the unseen world. Rumi, okay? Everything that you see has its roots in the unseen world. So here's this image that I was presenting to you here with the symbols of Saturn, South Node in Capricorn, South Node of the Moon in Capricorn, Pluto Capricorn conjunction, okay? And think Uranus Sun conjunction, okay? And then you see this symbol here. It says everything you see has its roots in the unseen. Now, this is actually an image that I'm using in the Chiron live stream that you will be watching tonight at 8 p.m. Central European time. So if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see that there is a clock on the actual video itself, so you can see when that's happening for you. But what this image portrays that I'm trying to put across here is that in the middle of within the middle of everything, there is form or formlessness that is essentially experiencing time, okay? And the ripples that you see across over there are, in a sense, the energetic expression and energetic experience of moments that over time. So if you have a look over here, I'll point to it more specifically in the chart. So the center, origin, Neptune, right, oneness. And from the origin, what ripples out is the fabric of time. And that's how we get the idea of time and space, because we're having space which exists over there between the lines. That would be Pisces. And then you have the boundary of it, which would be Saturn. So we are able to understand space because of definition, right? And that's how you're able to discern between sort of a glass of water and a table, right? That they occupy in space with their definition. And then with Cancer over here, it represents the emotional experience that's linked with the moments. Now, for all of us, this is how you would begin to understand the soul from an astrological perspective, or to understand the deeper layers of where our emotions come from and why we are triggered by things. And because held within these circles are experiences of post-traumatic stress disorder or response, that would have happened at 7 years old when you had a negative experience. It affects you when you're an adult, as an example. This is all here in very, very deep layers of time. And so everything you see has its roots in the unseen world. So we don't actually see this. What we see is the moment. We don't see the nature of its origin. So now if I go ahead and I look at this picture over here, and I bring this to you, okay, what do you see? Okay, it's very confronting, this picture, isn't it? It's very, very the world that we have been exposed to and has been established, and the origins of the world that we live in today is rooted in this. So when you go out into the world right now and you see a lot of the kind of statements of, feminine rising, or, white privilege as an example, all of these deep, profound wounds that are held within the collective, the wounds are held over here in these vibratory states of awarenesses. They all originate from the origin of behavior. So when you come back to something like this as an example, okay, the symbolic representation of that experience triggers this unseen energetic vibration that's held within us. And then from that place, it reveals to us a deeper, it's something completely deeper. So to me, this full moon, it really speaks to a place within ourselves. So here's the chart, right? And I pointed it out. One of the major reasons as to why I am putting this Chiron teaching today is because, can you see the 29-degree moon? It's actually sitting at the point of Chiron's north node. So Chiron has its own south and north node. And the north and south node of Chiron sit between 26 degrees Libra and 4 degrees Scorpio. It sits here. And so we have the moon and the sun connecting on this trajectory of Chiron. Now held within this area over here is that image I showed you before about the domination and the very forceful masculine, or the sort of early developmental expression of masculine energy coming onto the planet. And through our human experience, it became something that very much just took over. Okay, very profound. That image I showed you of the village being attacked, and being attacked through force, domination, control, that is rooted here. I know this because I speak to so many clients that have got that symbolism, like their Chiron over here or the moon south node in every single one. I mean, that picture I actually showed you came from somebody that had posted it, where they were bringing this up. They were saying, this is something it's a lot deeper than what you think. And they would be sensitive to it because of this configuration that sits here. The Chiron's nodal axis is being hit very, very strong with this new and full moon symbolism, i.e. the new moon sitting here in Aries and the full moon here. And then look at the T-square that's being made to Saturn south node there. This is what I'm talking about. This is the energy that is being evoked at this point in time. And the cage, the definitions, and the man sitting in there is all of our collective angst to find ways to break out of this unresolved pain and anger and sadness, this deep sort of divide that exists within the collective, that on the surface is very racial, but at the bottom of it is profound wounding. That's why I try to show you that imagery there about everything with Rumi's quote. Everything has its origins. Everything you see, or has its roots in everything you see has its roots in the unseen world. This is the unseen world. This is where it comes from. The collective division and separation is the primordial memory of our human nature. This is the wounding that sits here. That is chaos. That is destruction. And I'm just talking about something, that picture. We're not talking about the whole entire Roman Empire. And this was just a developmental process within the human experience. You know, we weren't going, oh, this is what we have to do. It's what we believed to be true at the time. And of course, this is a time of reckoning. This is a time of coming out of this exploration of masculine energy and rebalancing it. So all we are really picking up at the moment with this energy is the memories, the memory of our history. And now with Jupiter retrograde over here, squaring the Venus over here, it suggests to us that this is a dissolving of the values, Venus, right, that are no longer part of the new world, that are not part of this world in which we seek unity and connection with one, but actually realizing the division. It's a very profound thing to actually contemplate and understand, but yet very real to us, and every single day we see it. We see the separation. We see the pathological narcissism that exists within governmental structures. We see the dead wood and the decay of our values and our ethics as a human race that have been influenced in or placed in one direction, and it's led us to this point, and now that road ends. That road is no longer available for us anymore. We cannot continue going on this road. And I'm sure that most of you that are watching this video are fully awake to the fact that you make conscious choices with a new paradigm of thinking. But for the consensus world, for most of the people, you see it there. And the idea is not to get caught up in it. The idea is not to get caught up in the limitation or the block. The idea is to see the limitations as breaking down of structures and the resolving of all of this pain and sadness and anger and betrayal and abandonment and abuse. And it reveals a time in which the depth of our own personal separation is coming to the front. And so the moon on the Chiron's nodal axis suggests to us a balance and reorientation within our psyche, so that the masculine feminine principle in itself, and those are very broad terms in terms of the conversation, are essentially manifesting from that place. But we are not there yet. We are experiencing the realization of the imbalance at this point in time. So we've got a long road ahead of us at this point. So very, very profound thing to really contemplate. I mean, you can see in this chart over here, it's just like Neptune trining the North Node, right? Which suggests to us kind of healing that is wanting to be brought into each moment that we realize separation or division, where we watch our consciousness, you know, we watch our choices, we watch our decision making, we watch where our emotions are broken or fractured through division. And then we try to ask ourselves the question, where is the origin or the root of my conflict in? Is it because there is an unmet need? Is it because I am, it doesn't have to be necessarily an intellectual kind of exploration. It could just be an acknowledgement of that. And this energy shall pass, but it's a very deep contemplative thing to think about. Okay. I hope that this on some level provides you with something to work with, some value. To me, it seems very clear that we are at a turning point in our story right now, and for all of us, we are meeting the limitations with either deep frustration or the opportunity to see that no longer does the story work for us anymore, and we cannot give it more energy. It will not bring us anything other than destruction in our lives or separation. Okay, so I just want to point out to you, I wanted to use this slide over here just to kind of illustrate more of the deeper energy arising, but I'm not going to get into that today. There's a couple of things I just want to share with everybody today. The first thing is that a large majority of my work, as a big part of my own personal shift, is moving to Patreon. And so if you would like to support this work, if you would like to continue to see material that I create, you can come over to my Patreon page, or Raising Vibrations' Patreon page. For as little as $1, you can join our community and interact with it. I've got a lot of inspiration, a lot of direction at the moment for Patreon. So I'm wanting to share, if you would like to learn and know more about the work that myself and Jen do, our Patreon is a wonderful place to actually get intimately connected with us in that level. So there is an actual link in the description or the comments below to join our Patreon. Okay. And two things that I wanted to share. Remember tonight, Friday the 19th at 8 p.m. Central European, so it's in about 3 hours time, there is a Chiron live stream. And my intention with the Chiron live stream is to not only encourage us to engage in Chiron in a very profound way, but it's also that we are launching our Chiron, or we're launching the Chiron workshop that we have created. And so there is a pre-order that I want to share with everybody to show what you would actually be getting through this Chiron workshop and course, which I'm really excited about. I've done lots of work in it over there, so I really hope that I'll capture your imagination today with the value, and then you'll be inspired to actually go ahead and purchase the actual course itself, so you can work with Chiron yourself. Okay, that's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. I deeply appreciate your time. And if you found that this was valuable in any way, please write in the comments. Please share your sharings, what you thought, etc., what you have to contribute to it in that way. Okay. All right, everybody.